Hi, so in this video I want to talk about um, and express some thoughts on positivity um, and yeah, talk about having a sense of goodness and a sense of positivity and a way of generally how do I start? How do I get with this? Okay, so yeah, so generally I want to talk about having a good and positive state of uh, yeah, um, state of mind, let's just say. uh, uh, got stuck with that right there. I don't know where this video is going to go. Anyway, so I think it is one of the things that I feel uh, can happen with uh, you know with I think, okay, let me just start off by saying that I think out there in the world there's a lot of great people, there's a lot of positive and great and wonderful people out there. And as bad as it might appear that the world could be on some situations or on certain at certain times, there are good people, right? There are good people out there. And yeah, one of the things that can often happen with good people is that they might uh, often not be, in a positive environment, in an environment where they can truly thrive, where they can um, emanate their positivity outwards, out into the world, and create create great things, create beautiful things, and uh, help others and themselves live better lives, to share that positivity, because I think that is a really important part of being a positive human being, is being able to share that positivity and being able to um, yeah, share that happiness and share that positivity. But yeah, it can often happen that a person might just not be in that type of an environment where they can do that. And I think there's after some amount of time where after some amount of um, yeah, time in such an environment, a person just might not this can or might not happen, but maybe or maybe not. But I'm just going to talk about if such a thing happens. A person might not um, their innate and inherent good qualities about them. Such a person might not feel connected to them anymore, because if the environment is not right, if a person if a person has to deal with toxicity and bad influences all the time, it can sort of, well, then it becomes in a way that positivity doesn't reach that person, right? The person puts out positivity, but none of it goes back, none of it comes back. And uh, yeah, it can be draining. It can be it can make a person feel terrible, because I feel everyone has this um, I don't know if it's a if I would call it a need, but everyone, loosely saying, loosely using the word need, everyone needs some kind of positivity, right? Everyone needs something, some amount of goodness to come to them, so they can put out goodness, and some amount of goodness that would come back to them, and that way people can have a positive outlook out into the world. People can not be not feel down. People cannot, people feel good generally. People have this. It's an interesting thing to have this sense of goodness. I think it's a pretty powerful feeling. Hard to put into words, but as a feeling, it's pretty powerful to have this sense of goodness, and I think with it comes this sense of calmness. And calmness does not necessarily mean a lack of energy. Like, you can be calm and you can still be pretty energetic. Now, I think both of those things kind of, in some sense, go together. Calmness and energy, I feel, yes, definitely um, work together. And so, yeah, with that sense of goodness, I feel it increases a person's internal sort of, in a way, you could say, energy, or you could say their, um, yeah, their thinking, their I feel, in a sense, also their intelligence and their ability to, yeah, to think, and yeah, generally more, I guess you could say, cognitively, it improves how much, um, how, how much more intelligently a person can, and how much more creatively a person can, go about with their day-to-day life, I guess you could say, or, even with other things, even with, maybe a person is some kind of a creator in some way, whatever it is that, a person likes creating. And yeah, it can help with creative thinking, that sense of goodness. And I feel that if, um, I think one of the worst things, that worst I state a state of mind for a person to have is for a person to become, I don't know, cynical in some way, where they just look at everything with, I mean, there might be, yeah, there might be such an environment, when an environment becomes so bad that a person, maybe you could say that a person doesn't, is there a choice, is there not a choice, I'm not sure. Maybe the person chooses to be cynical, maybe a person become cynical, maybe they choose to be cynical regardless of the environment. And the bad environment might just be an excuse for a person to be cynical. It can be that way, when they just use it as an excuse. But I feel, yeah, in it is so important for, so yeah, I'm not talking about, those people who just use it as an excuse to be cynical, and even if those conditions didn't exist, they would be cynical regardless. So, you know what, forget them. So I'm talking about positive people, people who have, um, a sense of goodness within them, and a sense of goodness in the way they look at the world. And for them to, I think it's so important to not let that cynicism get hold of you, and, even come at you in any kind of way. To keep that cynicism just absolutely far away from yourself. I think it can make a person, see, I feel, it is really a beautiful part of human nature. If a person really is going to be human, and going to going to share all these amazing things about themselves and with other people, it is very important to not be cynical in any kind of way. Because what I feel cynicism does is it completely removes, and it closes off, and it shuts all the good things that it is to be human. Because, to feel great and beautiful human things, a person has to be vulnerable, right? It's that vulnerability, when a person shares that vulnerability with someone, that truly beautiful things can happen. I mean, not necessarily to say that everything beautiful necessarily comes from being vulnerable. Is that true? I don't know. But yeah, So what cynicism might do to a person is that take that vulnerability away. And if, like I said, I'm not talking about those people who want to be cynical regardless. So um, in a way, if you are a person and you are not, you know, one of those people, and you feel that maybe this kind of cynicism has somehow come into you, I think it's really important to keep it far away from you. Don't let that cynicism anywhere near your, and don't let it get into your mind, because I think it is very important to be positive and to hmm, to I don't know. Um, anyway, there's something, I don't know how to get to it. Uh, is it that a person can wait for things to get right? Um, hmm. Anyway, I don't know. I guess something good can be waiting. Maybe, or I think it's maybe in some way it is about having faith in yourself. That, um, yeah, I think having faith in yourself can help in some way with this. But I don't know. Like, I don't want to say necessarily that. How can you be so certain that something about what may or may not uh, you know mm, but yeah, anyway, I just think it's kind of important to not be cynical and to let that good nature within a person, to keep that and to keep that positivity, and to be and to keep um, I don't know if I would say putting out positivity, because I think that can be kind of draining, right? If a person um, is in some kind of a bad environment, or toxic environment, I guess. But yeah, to at least keep that positivity within oneself, in a way that keeping having faith in yourself and knowing yourself, and be in a way taking care of yourself and being kind to yourself. I think it's really important to in a way, um, not to sound like um, not to sound like in a bad way, but to like um, yeah, be take care of yourself and to be good to yourself, right? I think it's really important to be good to yourself and be positive to yourself, and to sort of remember that you did everything that you could, right, in a way. And yeah, to not be too much of a harsh, um, to not harshly criticize yourself too much, or yeah, and yeah, to generally be good to yourself, and to let that positivity that is within yourself to sort of put it on yourself, and to so you can keep feeling positive in a way, and to not yeah, not get and to keep that positive state of mind. Yeah, so um, because I feel that um, what was I going to say? Uh, See, this is sort of what happens. I'm about to get to something, and then it just so yeah. Anyway, I think that's I think I kind of talked about it enough in a way to sort of get the point sort of across of what I'm trying to say. So yeah, it is really important to let that um, keep that positivity with you, and to um, how do I yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll talk more about it at another time too, and then I hopefully I can really get into it, because I can't seem to find the words right now about what it is that I'm trying to say, and there's something else that I keep forgetting. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so I think that's kind of it with what I want to say. I hope that this was kind of some kind of at least positive message in some way, and I think I want to say again to um, if you're watching this, please take good care of yourself, okay, and be good to yourself. And because sometimes you might be in some kind of a time and place where you will be the only one that can be good to yourself, I guess, because sometimes things can be so toxic and so negative and so bad that it's very important to take care of yourself and to be good to yourself, because there might not be any goodness anywhere around you in any kind of form. So yeah, and I think there's enough goodness out there in the world that um, it can you might connect to some of it, right? And until then, just hold on to it and believe in positivity and believe in goodness, right? So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say. I hope I at least got some of what what I wanted to say. I hope at least it made I made some of it, with words, and hopefully it made any amount of sense. So yeah, if you have any of your own thoughts on this, let me know, and how you feel about you know um, this this topic of a person being good, and to keep that goodness within you and to not let it fade away. And because I think it is just so important to just not give up on that, and don't ever give up on goodness, and don't ever let that goodness get away from you, because there's just nothing aside from that. There's just nothing, because when goodness is gone, there's just nothing left. um, and so hold on to it, and don't let it fade away. Please don't let the goodness fade away. That's what I want to say. So yeah, if you have any of your own thoughts on this, let me know too. And to yeah, that's all. I just hope. I just kind of wanted to put out a positive message in some way. So yeah, that's it for this video. And if you have any of your own thoughts, let me know too. And yeah, that's it for this video. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.